I live my life like a candle in the wind. Who never go under the sorrows when the rain set in. And I would have liked to know you, but I was just a kid. Candle burned down long before your legend ever did. It's my favorite time of the year, man. It's candles and journaling. I do a lot of candles and I do a lot of journaling. I like that cinnamon Wilson flavor on that hot flame in that cool winter. In that cool winter time, man. That's my favorite thing. I believe this is episode 32, I want to say. Mama told me not to, but I did it anyway, misbehaving. Daddy said don't, but I'm gonna anyway, misbehaving. Passing my windowsill, swimming in the creek, catching crawdads and playing with a stick. I wore lipstick and I got caught shaving. Just two little country kids outside misbehaving. Teacher said don't, but I said it anyway, misbehaving. Preacher said no, but I'm gonna pay, misbehaving. Kicking and spinning and cussing out loud, running through the bus with my pickle in my mouth. Playing in the street, look at me outside waving. Just two little country kids out here misbehaving. God, I love that joke, man. That's a song from back in the day, the church day, the Sunday school, and everybody has a good Sunday school story. One of my favorite Sunday school stories, or one of my favorite stories of all time, I had this, I started going to church. This one church accepted me, and they took me in. I was looking for a church. We're in between churches, because there's a lot of beef with churches. You wouldn't know, but it's like some of those people are savages out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's just like, this person doesn't like this person. They're just not feeling that message from that inside, right? And that pastor, man, sometimes he passes around that money bucket, and it's more than one time in the day. Sometimes he's like, I got a feeling. A wave has crashed on me. We gotta pass around the plate one more time. And here I am, already gave $1. Gotta reach in my pocket, get some change, you know? So, man, I was just surprised how much beef there was in the church circuit. This one person was eyeing this other guy's wife. This other person, but man, there was some stuff that went down. Used to go in, I was around high school, and I used to go to this youth pastor. And the best way you could ever put a youth pastor is a youth group leader is they're a teacher, but they don't ever teach you anything. You know, they're in the role of teaching, but they don't really technically teach you anything. You know, they're just there. They're not teaching you any kind of valuable lessons. I mean, you meet there for like an hour every other week or something. You build something with popsicle sticks. You talk about unity and love and God, and then you leave, right? So this is with this one guy. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'd be going down to Sunday school, that youth group hitter. There's a couple ladies, you know, I was going through the puberties, discovering my body. And I thought it'd be a good idea to go to youth pastor group or youth group. And there were some ladies I was eyeing, because you know, you never can get enough ladies when you are in the high school and you're reaching that next level. You know, you're trying to get that extra base, like Vince Coleman. You know, you see that little pitcher kind of twitch. I'm off running, baby. I'm trying to slide in that second base, son. You know? Keep alive, just like RBI baseball, the best baseball game ever on any video game. Word life. So anyway, this one pastor, the guy, dude, he was amazing. I just never forget because he talks like this. He had a lisp like this. And he was trying to be the coolest dude in the room, you know. And little did I know, that's who I was competing with being the coolest guy in the room. Because, of course, high school girls, man, they could be kind of dumb sometimes and, you know, naive. Especially if you're going to some kind of church like this. That's like a tight-knit community. You haven't been exposed to the dark arts. But let me tell you about this guy right here. This Sunday school, this youth pastor. This dude was dabbling in the dark arts. I had some great insider information. Dark arts. And I knew at the time this guy, he had a problem. But I didn't really put my mind on it. I didn't really get any kind of, be able to come with anything definite. But I knew that he was kind of weird. But I always knew that if I would be, if Rich trying to play, if I was trying to just like get in and start a conversation with some ladies or something, this guy always come around showing me up. I'd be singing like some Belle Biv DeVoe, some solo, or some like New Edition to the ladies. He'd come around with a guitar and play the Beatles with his lisp. If I got a brand new Abercrombie and Fitch shirt that looked like it was worn, he was coming in, with that Eddie Bauer hitter that just came out. That was kind of like ruffled at in the collar area, So he was always upping me. But what was sad is that I was 17, 16 years old, and he was a grown-ass man. So it was sad competition, but I was ready for the competition. I was ready to go one-on-one. He'd be like, gosh, man, you guys are the coolest. Yeah, and I really love you. He used to tell us that he loved us. I just really love you. And it was sweet, but I think it was another love. It was another kind of love that, because love is an abstract feeling. But this, pastor, this dude, there was something going on, man. And I didn't like it one bit because he was my competition. I mean, I'm trying to shoo away all my homeboys that are in the class, that are my age. And that's fair game. And I love those dudes, right? Because that's just game, dude. But, man, this was a grown dude. He was be all up on the young girls. He's like, man, what kind of... He'd say stuff like this. What kind of lipstick is that? It really makes your lips pop. He'd say stuff like that to girls, and I was like, this guy's kind of weird, right? So this guy, one time we went on a retreat, and I was tired of it. I had enough, because I wanted to go to prom with this one girl, and I found out that, this guy was married, right? This old pastor dude was married. He was married. Didn't have any children, but his ass was married. And I wanted to ask this girl to prom, but dude, there was rumors that he was going to ask her to prom. He was going to ask her to prom, bro. So this is my number one. This is my competition, bro. This grown man that goes to youth school. The man of the church. So, man, I was sick to my stomach, dude. This guy made me so mad. So we went on this church retreat, right? And, dude, I was the biggest wrestling fan. I'm a huge wrestling fan, like old WWF, NWA, back when it was called that. And, man, I had the perfect opportunity because in the boys' bunk, in the boys' side of the beach trip, there was like a bunch of bedrooms, right, with bunk beds. And there was a boys' side and there was a girls' side. And it was pretty basic. But I thought it was weird that he was always in the girls' side, dude. I was like, this guy, he just has no shame. And his wife was so weak, she'd just be like, that's who he is, as a man of God, So she'd be like saying, like, he's your pastor, or he's your leader, kind of that guy. But I just was like, what? But anyway, I remember we were in my side in the boys' bunk, and the best thing happened. Like, it was all these dudes. We started wrestling, like play fighting wrestling, but we were like being wrestlers. And he showed up. And we were on the beds. We had the beds out like a big like wrestling ring. We're going off the top rope, dropping on the throat. And some people got a little real. And when I saw his ass come in the ring, I got real. It was like a battle royal in that piece, like the Royal Rumble. It was like the Royal Rumble in that mug. Because I remember one time, like Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan really did. No. I know what it was. It was Jake the Snake Roberts had a fine, beautiful wife. And Rick Rude, who was like a womanizer heel, was trying to mac on Jake the Snake's wife, right? And I remember one time, Jake the Snake had his wife at ringside. And Rick Rude came in to wrestle and called his wife in the ring. Rick Rude called Jake the Snake's ring. And he was like being all sexy, took his shirt off. He started doing this. And he was like totally disrespecting her. And I don't know what took him so long, but Jake the Snake eventually came out of the ring. And this was the greatest thing ever. He goes in the ring, starts hitting them. They start fighting. And Jake the Snake rips the guy's tights off. So his little things just wiggling around and stuff. And then I never forget, I had a censor box over it. And I was like, watching it like, this is the best. This is the best. He took and then he kept on beating him up. And he tore his tights off. So Rick Rude had no pants on. And he was just like flapping all around. And Jake Snake was getting, just send his message. But I remember the conflict was far from over, because in that next Royal Rumble, I remember Rick Rude was in the ring. He already had his number called, and then Jake's number got called. And there's like 10 people fighting in the ring. And I remember Jake the Snake looked on the other side of the ring, saw Rick Rude, and he made a beeline straight to him and started beating on that head. And that is exactly what happened at the church retreat. I saw that dude, and I said, I'm going after him right now, 100. And I just went over. I remember I jumped up, because I was pretty much in the same shape. I was probably like 30 pounds heavier, 40 pounds lighter probably, because I was wrestling. But dude, I jumped on his ass, and man, he was the weakest man I've ever engaged with. He just folded, dude. And this, who's a grown man. I remember I knocked off his glasses and I started. And dude, I remember, dude, it was such a joke that I put him in every finishing move I could ever think of. I put him in like 6 finishing moves. I DDT'd his ass. And then I immediately got him again. And put him in the perfect plex. I remember, and I held it still. I pulled it off where his leg was still hooked. I mean, it was on, bro. It was on, man. And then, dude, Ric Flair, I locked the figure 4 lock, dude. Locked. He was so weak of a man. And he was like, ah. And dude, I even did the thing what Rick does where I grabbed on something and I was just putting that pressure on. I was like, leave young girls alone. Nobody likes you, really. They don't know it yet, but they'll know later when they grow up. Man, I destroyed that guy. That was the greatest memory. And I remember after I got him in like the razor's edge, dropped him. I remember him saying, this is just not even funny anymore. I only like to wrestle people that I can beat. And then I was like, I got him. That was awesome. I remember that like that wrestling match like it was the other day, dude. I got him in all those finishing moves. It was the greatest thing ever. And it ended up being that dude was sketchy, dude. He was sketchy. All these stories came out, and guy was a loser. I remember that I had a friend later that went to college, and he told me that same dude used to go to the fraternity house to party. And people were like, oh, here's the weird old dude partying in the fraternity. Yeah. I'll never forget that guy. That dude was something else, dude. God. Macking on those girls. Young girls, you know. And people were like, he's the weirdest guy ever. But I got my revenge, dude. And I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath telling a story. God knows, that's just good. That's just pathetic. Man. God, what is up? Woo. Oh my gosh. I went to my Mecca. I'm a huge football fan. You know that about me. I went to Lambeau Field again. It was beautiful. God, it was snowing, bro. It was snowing. It started snowing. It was the real deal. That's one thing I learned about up there. When it's in the north, it's a little bit colder now this time of year, and everybody kind of told us like it got chilly quick. Man, what a completely different culture it is up there than it is here in the south. Man, it's hot as hell sometimes in October. Here, November can be really can be warm. I remember one time I wore shorts in December comfortably. That happens regularly. But up there, dude, it's a different game. And I was thinking about when I travel, I always think, hey, how would it be to live here? How would your everyday be? And man, living up there somewhere cold like that, with really bitter winter cold, you'd have to wire your brain differently, man. You'd have to wire your brain differently because that is something that is unexpected, man. And it's day after 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 day. I mean, it's constant. I mean, it might snow on Thursday like 2 feet, and that stuff it's not gonna melt. Maybe for a month, dude, and it's gonna be cold, and you got to worry about slipping and falling. I mean, even though they take care of the roads, man, that would be. Whew. And I do like some cold weather, but I think it's because it's not very long, you know. Here, our summers are our winters are just kind of like. You know, it might get down to 40 a couple times, but I mean, the people that say our winters are cold are just unbelievable. We're soft, man. We got the softest winters. Our summers can last for 8 months. I feel like sometimes, maybe, woof, and it's miserable, bro. It's terrible. So when that little cool brisk air comes in, I enjoy it, and that's why I got that cinnamon Wilson. What's your favorite scented candle? We're getting sensual in this episode. What's your favorite scented candle? Scented candles will set the mood. They will set the mood. Get my lighter out. Song, baby. Got that aroma, man. It could just get you in it, you know? Just get you in it. There's no doubt about that, bro. But so we went up there. Went with my squad goals representing, and we just had we had the greatest time. So good, man, so fun. The women up there are different, man. That's what I was checking out, man. One night I was up there, I was chatting a woman up, and one thing I really do like about the cold weather culture is how much you appreciate being indoors where it's warm. So we were outside. It was really cold. It was bitter. And then we finally go inside. And then you kind of undo a couple layers. And you feel a little bit more intimate with the place. And you're just glad to be there. You're glad to be warm. The people that are there with you, you seem like you have this bond. Like, hey, man, it's kind of like hunter-gatherer kind of deal. Like, we're warm now. Like, let's be thankful. You know? So we were in there. We're chatting it up. And there's this one girl, man. I started talking to her. We started talking. She's, kind of just... really interesting, and she took off her shirt, and she had a tank top on, and I noticed that she had like these bites on her, and I'm not talking about like mosquito bites. I'm talking about human bites, like somebody had been biting her, like she was in that freak, she was that freak me baby, She was into that kind of stuff, right? So, and the only reason I know that there were human bites is because everybody had that idiot kid in the neighborhood when you were small that always was bit. When you're little growing up, that would bite people. And I never forget this one kid. His go-to thing was to bite somebody, and I hated that kid so much, dude. Oh, he was the worst. But anyway, it was like bites like that all the arm, and I was just like, I couldn't take it. I was just like, whoa, what's going on here, man? That's another level stuff. And it kind of wigged me out. So that conversation stopped. We were also, this is great. We're also, at the end of the game, we're just chilling at the car because it's such a long line to get out. And a couple of those Wisconsin ladies stopped by the car, bro. And I'm just in such a jovial, glad mood to be there. I'm just, think about this is like being a male, is you approach women. It can be it can be that risky biscuit. You know what I'm saying? It can be that risky risk. You go in there, you get your feelings hurt, or it might work out. Hey, that's what it's all about, right? So I know how it is, and I want to be nice and I want to be inviting. But these girls were going in for the charge, bro. They knew they were smelling the vibe off the lonely uncle, right? It was in the air. It was a scent. You smell that? You smell that? It's that lonely uncle, you know what I'm saying? So, and they liked all my friends. They liked everybody there, right? And I just, just there chilling, gave them a drink, chilling, having a good time. And they were pushing it. They were pushing it hard, aggressive. But I wasn't feeling it, so I was thinking, it got to the point where they started getting kind of defensive, and I was like, oh my gosh. It's like the tables were turning for a second. There's so many times where I've approached a woman or a group of women, and they just completely dismissive, and they're just not feeling it because, they got Dale over there, or they got, what's a new name? They got we're making fun of some of the new millennial names, which is just kind of funny, just like in this day. And my mind just went blank, Tucker, not Tucker, but something like that, you know what I'm saying? But there's a bunch of those over there, right? And and I'm so used to being let down, so I was just trying to be the nice guy. But then I realized the nicer I was, the worse it got. We're just kind of thinking, man, they were asking for where we're staying, location, pressing it. I'm just so not interested. This one girl, she was kind of big, right? It's Wisconsin. It's a lot of cheese. Man, she had pretty much a bed sheet she was using as a scarf. Like, she couldn't find a scarf cover her neck, so she just got one of those bed sheets, and she just wrapped it around her. So I was like, wait, where are you? But eventually I felt like the hot girl at the club. They kind of made me feel bad because they said I was making fun of them, but I was just having a good time. And I guess if you don't know my personality, if you don't know, you probably do think that, you could think that I could be a butthole sometimes. And I can. If I'm not feeling it, if I'm not in that mood. But I was trying to be welcoming because I was in such a great mood. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is a bummer. Like, I got to act like the hot girl at the club. There's nothing worse than being the hot girl at the club. Like, where's the hot girl at the club now? I was thinking about that. Like 20, 25 years later, she's settled down. She's not like, she's not going to the club anymore. But if she is, she's not the young, happening, hot girl at the club. That's such a sad thing to be when you think about it. But, we'd be like, oh my gosh, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? She's drinking daiquiris. Buy that girl a daiquiri. It's so ridiculous. And then another thing that we were laughing at was another moment of just like pure judgment based off looks is we're getting on a plane, when we have to get on the plane, and the plane's full. And dude, Southwest has this open seating thing that's just completely ridiculous. It's just like middle school and elementary school all over again in the in the cafeteria on the first day of school, because everybody's looking at you thinking, man, please don't sit with me, dude. Don't sit with me. Kind of like people try to be bigger than they really are. And then there's some of those people that are so big, I realize, that they're trying to be little because they don't want to make you think that they're big, because in their mind, I think that could be devastating for some people, because they probably don't want to be real big and leaning over a seat, and you feel like it wouldn't be a very comfortable ride because they're so big, but yet they don't want to be that person either, but they are. So that whole dynamic's going down. So you're just like, oh my gosh. But I found some little people to sit beside. But you can't go too little, because then like they get fidgety, like little kids, like middle school and high school. Sometimes they just, or anybody that's just not. It just flying sucks. It's just not fun. But you do feel like you're the new kid in the cafeteria looking for someone to sit, and everybody's kind of like sprint, kind of like making their bodies bigger than it really is. It's pretty awesome. So that was pretty amazing. So overall though, just an amazing. I love traveling all different times of the year. It's really trippy to go somewhere that is different, completely different weather, than that actually you have. And that is that can be crazy. You're all bundled up and you get out and you need shorts. I read this one article recently, and it said that it was by Emma Watson, and I really don't even know what she's in. I feel like a failure. Is she in Harry Potter? She's probably in Harry Potter or something that I'm not really into or haven't really checked out. But she says she's not calling herself single anymore. She rather call herself self-partnered. Self-partnered. Dude, let me tell you something. Why hide your loneliness? What's the advantage? It's in my title. I've made a living off of this. Why are you trying to call something different than what it really is? Emma Watson, you're single. Okay? Self-partnered. It just makes it sound like you're not happy with what you are. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day, about being single. And you know what being single is awesome? Waking up every day. I love it. I love it. Because nobody's going to sit there and, you've already made your plans. You ain't got to go to a birthday party. Watch ball all day, read a book, read a great book, with no interruptions. Work on yourself. Make yourself better. Now, I'm not saying that there's not lonely times. And usually they might come in the late night. You know what I'm saying? But call things what they are, baby. Don't be coming with these games. Call it what it is. Self-partnered. I think you're going to be all right. I think your name's out there. I think there's plenty enough men, Emma Watson, they're going to take a little bit of interest in you. So, or women. She might, I don't know. I don't know what her, she might be, she might be whatever. I don't know what it is. She might be. That might be completely, I guess it doesn't even matter these days. Because, all it's about is finding that companionship. And that's why I ride with my title, bro. And that's why I got my people with me. And that's why I love you, dude. You're rolling with this, son. So just kind of keep that in mind, man. Call things what they are. And don't try to play games and take weird angles. Because it's all going to be over soon anyway. So let's not front. We're life. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. Some of these people, bro. You know? So, holiday season. I do love this season. I love this time of year. I really do. Because I don't know, man. I just get a fuzzy feeling, you know. I just get that warm feeling. I'm gonna start bringing out my records, listen to a little bit of vinyl, and getting it on as far as getting that mindset of a real true winner. You know what I mean? So, you know, I hope everything's going well with you. You know, I know some people are saying actually I'll talk about this. The last couple episodes I kind of got frustrated because YouTube banned them because of the music I played. Man, I'm just trying to like get a good intro, get some good energy going, and they're like, that was how dare you play something from an artist that's getting no royalties and probably getting their music streamed and not getting any kind of capital at all. How dare you use that? And I understood, but also it just kind of irritated me. You know, so one episode I had it intertwined and it was such a I couldn't even get it to it. So I'm gonna come. I'm gonna still put out these sods, but it's probably might not have as much music in it, if any, or I'll just have to kind of go. Maybe I'll get someone to if you want to make a song for this podcast, let me know, or help me make a song. We'll do something. That'd be great. And DM me if you want to. I'm looking for some ideas. I'm trying to get some people on it. I got a couple ideas. I aimed real high, and a couple people didn't respond. But I feel like I'm up for pretty much anything. Good conversation. Have a couple people in mind. And try to get it going. As far as trying to make sure that we have some entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So next time, baby, we will send you off.
We gonna sing and we gonna dance. Mama told me not to, I did anyway, misbehaving. Daddy said don't, but I said I'm gonna misbehaving. I'm on a windowsill swimming in the creek. Catch a crawdads and playing.
Have a great week.